r/AskReddit by Redmond Dts. What was the most brutal reality check you ever got? I was on vacation with my family, having an amazing time in the most amazing and magical place. When it came time to write in the guest book of the rental house we were staying at, I was the chosen one, because I was the writer of the family. I was 18 at the time. I wrote a glowing review of how amazing our trip had been, and all the beautiful beaches we had loved the most, and our favorite food, and the most magical experiences we had in the water with sea turtles, etc. etc. When my mom read it, she cried. But not exactly happy cry. She said to me, through tears, "I had no idea you had such a good time. I thought you were miserable and hated almost every moment." That was the day I realized that constant passive negativity and knee-jerk complaining, which felt like nothing to me, just commentary, felt really heavy to those around me. Literally changed my life. I did a full 180, and, as it turns out, not acting like such a bummer all the time has made me a genuinely happy person. It's now my goal in life to have, at best, a positive effect on everyone whose path I cross. At worst, a neutral effect. Never again will I be anybody's darkness. When my mom died, and I still had to take finals in 2 weeks. The world keeps moving, even when you feel like yours is falling apart. A few years ago I was very judgmental. One time I remember meeting this very sweet woman, and I said in my head without even thinking, "I'm glad I don't look like her." Not even 5 minutes pass, and someone walks up to me and goes, "You guys look like you could be sisters." Needed that, to be honest. My friend's 4-year-old walked up to me and said that I had an ugly face. I mean, I already knew, but it genuinely hurt coming from a 4-year-old. Thought my relationship was getting bad, but we could work through it. Kept fighting to make us work. Walked in after work to him balls deep in my best friend. A handful of months ago, when I almost became homeless. Like, buy a tent and sleep on the side of the road homeless. Some friends of mine came in clutch and saved my ass last second and are letting me stay with them, but I realized just how quickly it can all be lost, with very little resources to climb back up. Yep, that's me right now. Living in my car, and once the repo people find me, I'll be on the actual street. Not long again I was married, good job, 10 grand in savings, and a house. We didn't find out my wife was pregnant until she was 16 weeks pregnant. 16 out of 44 people who don't know. We found out in a doctor's office, and I fainted when I saw my daughter on the ultrasound. That was already a big reality check. And then my daughter was born at like 23 weeks. And lived only 29 days. We went from not even knowing she was pregnant to having lost a child in under 3 months. Realizing my best friends from high school literally never texted me first after graduation. Like not even once. Took me months to accept they just didn't care that much. I think many people encounter this, although we don't imagine it at school. I also had it. Realizing that working hard and being valued are two completely different things. Another fun one. Working hard doesn't mean you are performing well. Most brutal? I used to think it was when in 1969, I was in my first firefight while a Navy engine man on a river patrol boat. I just froze. Until another crew member clobbered the hell out of me, damn near broke my jaw. But it snapped me out of it. Later, after it was over, I got the shakes bad. But the other guys understood, told me it was okay. It happened. It's a moment when you question your choices in life. Like, oh crap, this shit's real. But I was a volunteer, so I got with the program. Yep, that was a heck of a reality check. But the most brutal one is when my wife of 41 years screamed and died in front of me. It all happened so fast, so unexpected. Brought her to an emergency room for a migraine. Something she'd had before. Pretty nasty stuff, but routine. No worries, or not much. Then, she died. And there was a mad scramble of nurses and doctors and somebody yelling for a security guy to get me away from there, him grabbing me and taking me away, outside. Him telling me to get fresh air. And all I could do was think that my entire world, my whole reason to exist, was no more. Gone, that fast. I can think of nothing else more brutal in my life. Not even when that B-40 rocket in Vietnam almost took off my leg and put me in a hospital for 3 months. Realizing that someone can love you and still not be good for you. I spent way too long confusing attachment with love. The reality check was understanding that just because it hurts to leave doesn't mean you should stay. When I was 10, I was so excited to see my dentist at the grocery store that I went in for a hug. He recoiled with a look of disgust on his face. Until that point in my life, I had been surrounded by affectionate people and just assumed everyone appreciated a hug. That experience was a total paradigm shift for me, and I had to learn how to be less affectionate and play it cool around people who weren't family. That there will come a day when your loved ones won't be here anymore. Happened 8 years ago today. On my first day as a teacher, not just a sub, one kid got injured. I started looking for an adult. I realized that I was the adult. Sometimes you are the problem. That I'm approaching 41 and not going to have a family of my own. I wasted the last couple of years in a horribly destructive relationship, have absolutely no desire to get into another one, so that's that for me ever being a mum. It hurts. Life doesn't actually give a flying fudge what you want. You have to go get it yourself. On a similar note, you can't plan life. You can try your hardest, but then life has a way of throwing a wrench into things. That's all folks. Thank you for watching. If you like videos like this one, why not like and subscribe for more? Have a nice evening.